Hey everybody, it's Peter, and today I figure we talk about the new Star Trek that was announced last week. So it's the new Star Trek Discovery that's supposed to be coming out in fall, all done, produced by CBS. And, this is just my reaction to the whole thing. Again, this is my channel and my honest opinion. So, and I remember seeing a lot of flack already about a day or so after that. I think it was on sort of Facebook or wherever, but all the different social medias were all sort of like, oh, this sucks and whatever. And I remember even one guy, and I commented too, he's just like, you guys shouldn't complain about stuff because, CBS went out of its way to make something for you, so you've got your Star Trek fix. I was like, one, you're on the internet, so you're always going to hear some kind of negativity. People are going to put their opinions on something. So, you're not going to hear everybody going like, "Oh, look, it's a new Star Trek! Yay, we get Star Trek!" It's like when you go back in time to the mid '80s when they were going to come up with Next Generation, and it's just like, well, if it's not Kirk and Spock, dude, I don't want to hear it. We want Kirk, we want Spock. No, satisfying fanboys and fangirls. But I just want to give my opinion on it. Actually, I saw the clip, and it was just like, yeah, okay, and it wasn't even the clip per se. What got me is the whole thing. Oh, it's 10 years before Kirk, Spock, and the Enterprise. Okay, now if you're somebody like myself, I'm literally as old as the franchise itself. So, which I, grew up on that kind of thing. When the only thing I don't like about it now when some people talk about, oh, it's campy and cheesy. Well, it was 1966. Look at Lost in Space and some of the other shows of its time. It's budget cardboard string. Now you've got millions of dollars to spend. I mean, it did millions of dollars in 1966 equivalent. You'd have an amazing trailer like what they're showing now, or when you see the trailer for this new Discovery show. Only good thing is it is being filmed in downtown Toronto. There's I know they're calling it Hollywood North, but we do have a studio in some kind of secret location. I'm not sure where or where our studios are located for that. So, I mean, that's one plus. My big beef is actually, and I think I said this to some of the other franchise too, like when Bond turned 50 years old and Doctor Who turned 50 years old and Star Trek turned 50 years old. It's like, guys, give it a rest already. Like, just put the franchises to bed and let's just make something, brand new and sparkly. If you want to do a sci-fi show, great. Make something. Just don't make Babylon 5. Don't make, a new Battlestar Galactica, because I'm probably one of the few. I mean, the 1980s Battlestar Galactica was cheesy too, but yeah, when you're trying to remake a franchise, I'm almost like, don't. My beef with the way this is going right now is sort of like it's 10 years before, and then a lot of us old school fans are kind of like, okay, 10 years before what? Like, are we using, the original series like William Shatner's Star Trek? But 10 years before that was Spock and Pike, because I sort of remember the line where I think it was in The Menagerie where Spock says that he worked with Pike, over 13 years ago. So they're saying before Kirk and Spock. Well, and even if you look at Star Trek 2009, Spock was already working for Pike, but Spock too, he was a commander at Starfleet Academy when Kirk was doing his Kobayashi Maru test. So to me, Spock had already been for some time. They're not giving you ages and stuff like that, but I mean, Spock was a small boy. And then, he says, screw the Vulcan Academy, I'm going to go to work for Starfleet. But they don't tell you what the time frame is. So I can't see him being like there for like a couple of years or something. I mean, to go from, that's another video right there, how the rank jump happened in, Star Trek '09. Been going like, Kirk went from a cadet to a full-blown captain. And if you go to the original series, Kirk in the original series, he went through the ranks and became a captain. And this one is like Kirk was like, oh, you're assigned a captain, battlefield commission kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, no. What I didn't like was things like the costuming and some of the other stuff. Like, where are you getting this idea from? Like, if you go look at Enterprise with Scott Bakula, they went with sort of the NASA flight jumpsuits kind of idea. And instead of having coloring the flight suits, just have the little bit of piping around the shoulders. And that's what I'm not liking with this either. Like the uniform design, like where are you coming up with this? Like metal. Okay, now we're going 10 years back from what they now refer to as Kelvin Star Trek. So like Chris Pine and the gang. Are you going from J.J. Abrams Star Trek and going 10 years back? But then 10 years back is George Kirk. And Kirk was what, 20 something. I guess he'd be like 25, 26. But then I looked at a picture from George Kirk's time at the beginning of Star Trek, 2009, where everybody's wearing black pants, blue shirts. Everybody's wearing the same blue shirt. It's tucked in their pants. They have a little bit of some kind of trim, and they're all wearing this generic arrowheads. But it's just a line. There's no star. There's no different science, engineering things that they took back from the original series. How are we going from that to what they're now wearing, which looks like, I just looked at it again up close at the still images on some of the websites of they look like they're wearing like Star Trek's tracksuits, and the differentiation is gold and silver, but you don't see if they're going to go with the blue, gold, and red color scheme and sort of working it somewhere, like maybe there'll be a line somewhere or some kind of rank, that kind of thing. And the ship design too, it looked like the way that the Franklin looked in Star Trek Beyond. Same kind of, rough looking panels and the way the chair and everything looks. That really threw me. And the Klingon too, and I saw a close-up picture of the Klingon. He actually looks like one of the Xindi from Enterprise. I forget which one of the different races, but one of the guys too, they had this sort of, wired sort of armor, but somebody said it's original artwork from Star Trek the Motion Picture. So now we're drawing on another part of the canon. And again, too, we're going with the multitude of aliens, so I guess we're going to lean towards, Star Trek '09 Kelvin canon. And that's why I just wanted to get this out there, because it's like it's so friggin' confusing. Like, from which timeline are we coming from? Where are you getting this artwork from? It's not even conforming to, 60 Star Trek or 2009 Star Trek. Like, where are you coming? It's 10 years before. 10 years before what? Where's the conformity to going from this is going into that into that? Okay, that kind of makes sense. Or when you see, like I said, the beginning of '09, the way George Kirk is dressed up and the whole crew. And you can see, okay, they went from those kind of uniforms, communicators on the belt, now they got the different way. And then we jump to the traditional, pullover tunics. That I kind of like that idea. And then when you see close-ups of those ones too, they had the little arrowheads as part of the design pattern too, and then they switched it for the third movie. So again, that's another video. I'm just not really happy with this whole way this whole thing is going, and I have no idea what CBS is doing. And when somebody made the comment about you're lucky CBS is doing anything for you, he says, well, these are the same guys too that actually passed a ruling saying anybody doing any kind of fan fiction has to keep it to 15 minutes and cut it out. And then there's guys like, Vic, I can't forget his name, but the fellow that's doing the Star Trek Continues. I mean, they were doing like full 1 hour episodes. Bottom line is this whole thing's so bloody confusing. And the one comment I did actually say online was the Orville's coming out with Seth MacFarlane. Again, another topic for discussion, other than Seth MacFarlane should be creating it but not acting, because he's not the greatest of actors, but the concept's kind of funny. But it's just basically Galaxy Quest done for TV. But I'm looking more forward towards, like, let's see how that puppy's going to go. But with Discovery, I'm just sort of so off, and just how the last part of the Star Trek franchise too, and actually even long ago with Voyager and DS9, I wasn't happy how things were going. The writing was poor in a lot of Enterprise. I think one of the only ones I really liked was the Mirror Mirror episode, but I didn't like it because everybody was acting too maniacal and like, ooh, we're all evil. Yeah. Hollywood, please. This is a plea that goes out to Hollywood. Like, just leave stuff alone. Stop messing with stuff and be creative. I know they're trying to go after, rabid fanboy, like, oh, it's some more Star Trek. You know what? You're just ruining it. A lot of stuff I grew up on, it's like, why are you changing it now? Like, I don't mind change. I've changed, like, myself. My music tastes have changed. I have changed. I do not have the same haircut I did when I left high school. But again, I am open to change and stuff like that. But there's some stuff is like, you're just ruining it. You're just trying to make a quick buck. You're going to make a bunch of, marketing and merchandising. Like in Spaceballs, merchandising. What's merchandising? I just had to get this off my chest. But anyway, what do you guys think about it? Are you excited to see the new Discovery? Or are you going to watch Orville, or are you just like, you know what, are you just going to go back and watch on Netflix streaming, or if you're like myself, have a Blu-ray or DVD collection, you're just going to go look at the old movies and just live off of that, or are you really like, hey, let's watch this new version of Star Trek, it'll be fun and cool and whatever, or you just kind of put off by it. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. Let's try it this way: like if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.